Now, Tshwane residents are feeling the pinch of political instability with the city's coalition government. As the city's taps run dry, only the limited bus services is available due to a lack of fuel. Residents have had to make alternative transport plans, and eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane is getting to the root of the problem, and she joins us now just to give us details. Slee, so the buses you've been showing throughout the course of this morning are not operational. Have you seen the effects of it on the roads?
Not as yet, because as you've said, there is a limited service that's available today. So usually we would have around 160 buses operating from the bus depot here in the CBD from around 4:30 this morning. But from what we understand from speaking to officials, only around 90 of those buses have been able to do their rounds transporting commuters. And the issue is, of course, around a fuel shortage. A statement was released by the city of Tshwane late yesterday, requesting that commuters make alternative arrangements, because according to that statement, the city was saying that their service provider was experiencing a shortage and therefore affecting the bus service as of today. But this morning, Jill Matlala and I came to the depot. Some buses were operating, coming back from their shifts, but many of them, as you can see to my right, are stationary and awaiting, from what we understand from speaking to one of the officials from the city of Tshwane, a tanker is supposed to arrive to fuel up some of these buses that remain stationary. In fact, also to my right, you can see some bus drivers who are just, sitting around waiting to be able to do their job. So let's just take a listen to what the city official Silindelo Masikane had to say to me earlier on, Masikane, with regards to this fuel shortage. It's a bit of a blame game going around. The city saying that essentially the issue was coming from a lack of a payment to the service provider due to a new system that was adopted, and so the city had to revert to an old one in order to be able to process the payment and for fuel to be able to make its way to the depot. Let's take a listen.
At 4:20 this morning, we started operating about 90 of the 180 buses that we usually operate on daily basis. This shortage won't last that long. We are confident in saying that, given that we are having buses running, as you rightfully indicated too. Not long from now, there is a fuel tanker that has filled in Johannesburg and is destined for this depot. It will deliver fuel which will sustain us for the coming days.
And Slee, in terms of commuters, what alternative plans were they able to make for this morning?
Well, many of them who didn't have their usual buses coming to their stops have had to, of course, make alternative arrangements. The city is apologizing, but of course we don't know exactly how long the limited service will continue, because at this point, according to the original statement, the bus service was going to be suspended. Let's take a listen.
As I indicated earlier on, that we will redirect some of our buses in the event that truck gets delayed to those depots that have fuel. To our commuters, the city of Tshwane apologizes profusely for the inconvenience that we have caused.
Well, we all know that the city of Tshwane, opposition parties have had a lot to say about its finances there and what's happening in terms of the DA-led city of Tshwane. What are they saying this time, opposition parties, Slee, with regards to this issue?
Well, in particular, the ANC in Tshwane says that this is just but one example of the failure by the DA-led coalition in Tshwane to provide service delivery, saying that since the coalitions took over, the city is just dilapidating on a daily basis, and that services are just not being delivered to the people, saying that when the ANC was in power here in the city, there was development, and that the residents of Tshwane essentially need to decide exactly come 2024 whether they want to see the resumption of service delivery and oust essentially the DA-led coalition. Let's take a listen.
It's the city leadership. I mean, who can you blame? I mean, those that are steering the ship. If the ship sinks, they are the ones who must take accountability. So Randall and the DA-led coalition